Welcome to the dual slalom here in Crankworx Cairns. It's the second round of the Crankworx World Tour in 2023. I'm Elliot Jackson. I'm here in this tropical paradise with Alan Cook. And you know, dual slalom really is all about partying to me. But in my head, I'm just trying to live up to the standard you guys set last year. What was it like to be on site?
Oh man, it was incredible, Elliot. Last year, this place absolutely erupted. We had Aussies battling for the win. It was an exciting race from beginning to end, and I expect nothing less today.
You know, one of the drama-filled moments that we had last year was right behind me on this wall ride. We're calling it the Dungal Jarginji, and it means shark fin. You know, Harrietberg Smith lost the gold medal there. What happened?
I mean, it was the gold medal matchup, her and Caroline. It was the second run. She had to lay it all down on the line. She was actually on a heater. It was the fastest run of the day for her and actually overjumped coming out of the shark fin. And unfortunately, that was the decision maker for her in that gold medal.
And you know, that's one of the sections we talk about line choice. Is that have the most options?
Yeah, absolutely. On the shark fin, we're gonna see people gapping all the way over. We're gonna see people jumping on, jumping off. We're gonna even see what we saw last year, people hitting the wall and then tripling off and carrying that momentum all the way down the track.
You know, one of the other moments that we had last year was on the flat turn. Bas van Steenbergen in the last match of the week slipped a pedal. What happened?
Yeah, he was on a heater. You know, he was one of the top qualifiers as well. But yeah, last year the finish came into a flat 90-degree dry turn, and the riders really had to lay the power down to get out of there across the finish line. And as you're saying, Baz had a slip up, and Mick went across the finish line, arms in the air, and claimed it all the way. It was awesome to see.
Yeah, he was loving it. We had him track change this year, the snake berms, and even though it seems like it's easier, I think that probably is still the most difficult part of the track.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see a lot of races won and lost here coming out of the snake. What's going to happen with the snake is now, as they're coming out of the section, all of their G-forces and all of that speed is going to be right where their braking point starts. And when that's the case, it's flip of a coin whether you're going to brake and slide or brake at the right part. So, you know, it's going to be technical, especially this year.
This track is amazing. I can't wait. Let's go and start racing.
Crankworx it's a crazy thing to be involved in.
It's hectic, but you're in it and you're just like loving it.
A reunion of friends and people in different cultures.
All these cool different locations, all these different tracks. There's always so much stuff going on. People are just stoked on biking, and they're just stoked to be here.
Hearing so much energy around.
We live for that.
For the love of competition, playing my position, making man's position, he's shooting air balls, getting jumping with missing. Facing from the ground, but the race has got him tripping.
Please make sure that your seatbelt is fastened. Thank you and enjoy your flight.
There is nothing quite like dual slalom here in Cairns. We've got beautiful scenery, one of the most probably special places I've ever been to in the world, nestled right between two UNESCO World Heritage Sites. We've got the Great Barrier Reef, the largest reef in the entire world, and we've got the oldest rainforest in the entire world. Getting into the racing here, here's the women's bracket. What do you see in here, Alan?
Yeah, I see a lot of those familiar faces looking at the top three fastest qualifiers. Those three women are always passing around those top three. So I think it's going to be a little bit of what we're used to. We're going to see those big names battling it out. But also, don't count out Martha Gill. She had an exceptional showing in Rotorua just a few short months ago. I expect her to be on point here today as well.
And you know, one of the sections that we looked at together was this mogul section. There's actually a lot of options here. Did you do you have a rhythm that you're looking for?
You know, it's really hard to call it without actually riding the course. Just knowing the speed, I think it's going to depend on who's really going through. I think that the riders are kind of puzzling here, wondering, you know, can we jump all the way over? You kind of pointed that jump all the way over, which looks like it could be the fastest, unless you can drop a back tire, get a little momentum off that backside. We're going to have to see how it develops throughout the day.
Yeah, you see Caroline Buchanan here, kind of trying to size it up. It's one of those sections where you can't really win the race, but you can lose it because you carry your speed. You don't brake until the very end of the track. Got Harriet there.
Yeah, one word that comes to mind is rapid when talking about this course. The speed, where they're pedaling to go even faster is blowing my mind coming down the track. They're just generating so much speed, and as we were talking about earlier, it's just building up in that final snake, and they explode through the tightest turns of the track.
And last year's best time, the Swatch best time, was actually Caroline Buchanan. This was a master class. If you just look at what was she doing that really allowed her to carry so much speed down the track?
You know, like you were saying, this was that gold medal matchup. We looked at it earlier. This is the one where Harriet had that mistake, but Caroline was on point. Not only her fastest run of the day, but the fastest run of the entire competition, saving it for the last run, and we know that comes from experience. Caroline knows what she's doing.
Yeah, for sure. You know, one thing, we're definitely missing Cam McCall here. Had a little slide out, broke his leg, so heal up. Crankworx is definitely not the same without you. Cam, we're missing you.
Yeah, definitely missing you, but stoked to have you up here working with Rob and working with you, Elliot. It's been a pleasure so far.
Harrietberg Smith. And we're getting into the racing. I always think that right before this is probably the most stressful times before you drop into the gate. We got actually a chat here if you want to give us some insight, lay down your questions, banter a little bit. And so here we go. We got the first round of age. Harrietberg Smith versus Connor Melk. Number 1 qualifier versus number 8.
Harriet with a solid gate right there. You can tell that BMX background is paying off coming out of the gate. Already a 2-bike length lead. You know she's got confidence. She won here just last night in the speed and style, showing she's got speed, and we know she's got style coming out off the shark fin.
Yeah, she's really kind of coming to her own with the speed here. Getting used to that mountain bike, coming from the BMX background, getting used to all of these slippery corners at the bottom, cruising by, save a little bit of energy for these later rounds when things are definitely not going to be easy for her.
Yeah, she had a solid run. You know what I'm seeing that I'm liking out of Harriet is going through these moguls. She just looks unbelievably smooth, catching that backside, pumping with both tires through the last 2. Even though she wasn't jumping, she's generating speed, and this is where we saw her have that trouble last year.
Right, yeah, totally taking a different line there, not going on the wall, opting to go on the dirt this time, getting a good pump on the backside, learn from her mistakes.
Yeah, and right here, this is where I'm seeing some growing out of her racing. Definitely checks up. She knows she's got the lead. She's doing what it takes and being careful not to make an unneeded mistake.
Second round of the round of 8, Sasha Mills versus Jenna Hastings, reigning junior world champion. And you know, she has also been coming into her own on all of these small bike events.
Yeah, Jenna doing amazing last night, getting on the podium as well. Kind of bouncing up. Both riders extremely closely matched up. This is our number 4 and number 5 qualifiers. So their times are very, very close. Bringing in some tight racing. Jenna coming down. Let's see how she shuts it down and navigates these tight turns.
Again, oh, you can see as soon as riders start pushing in that bottom, that's when the mistakes happen. So Sasha trying to make up a little bit of time, that max differential of 1.5. Jenna cruising across the finish line. She, I saw her in the airport actually, just getting over a cold. Her and her dad traveling here.
Yeah, that's definitely going to take a toll. You know, even though we just started the broadcast, we're halfway through their race. They did the round of 32. They've done the round of 16. And here we are coming through the S-turns. Looking at the length of the course, 240 meters, 7 berms, and 1 shark fin.
And one of the things I always think about on a track like this is the vision. So even the cameras, you can see how blown out it is. That's the way it looks when you're coming in as a rider. And we were, Alan, talking about the goggle choice. I think that that's actually one of the things that's going to make a big difference on this track. Something you probably don't even think about most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, the elements are out here today. You know, the course is dry at the bottom. It's nice and wet at the top, but that's also going to affect vision. Look at the different styles we have here. We have no goggles coming through. These riders are choosing different options. The clear goggles, that's going to be good when you come out of that darker shade. And then we got Caroline here. She's ready for the sun, so she's going to try to even out that sun. The 3 different options with light. You know, another element to this course is going to be the wind. The wind's been gusting a little bit here this afternoon.
What would be your choice?
Ooh, man, I would probably go light tint. I would probably do a real light tint. Yeah,
Well,
somewhere in
okay,
between
of
all
course.
three.
Right. How many pairs of goggles do you have? All right, we're back up to the top. It's Louise Ferguson, the clear goggles. Let's see if it plays out for both of them. Martha Gill. Martha has done pretty much every discipline you can on a bike.
Yeah, more and more of these riders are putting in their time to train and be prepared for these multi-discipline events the Crankworx Festival is. Both riders looking really clean through the moguls. Louise Ferguson, someone we see on the World Cup scene, starting to catch up a little bit to Martha Gill. And Martha riding high.
Martha took that second place in the dual slalom at Rotorua with the advantage, the 0.4 second advantage there.
Holy whoa!
Yeah, just listening to the riders, you could hear it. Their speed is building, kind of breaking through. You see Louise, she actually broke loose a little bit. Yeah, right there, just a little bit, lost a little bit of time. And Martha was able to shut it down through these tight turns. And watch how early she gets on the power right here. Eyes on the prize, just gets around it and actually pedals around. I think if she didn't pedal, it would have been harder to get around that.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things we look for. You have this insane tendency to want to take a foot off the pedals, but as soon as you do that, you're losing time. You can't get back on the pedals. And now we see Caroline Buchanan, the reigning queen of Crankworx. She's definitely coming out strong again here, leading the queen of Crankworx standing. Going to get Cassie Boise.
Yeah, she's looking really strong here this week.
And one of the things, too, Alan, that I was looking at that we have here is the hole shot time. So if you see them coming out, maybe 2 pedal strokes right after they come out of the gate, you'll see those times pop out. That's that hole shot. So actually, Caroline made up almost 0.2 right off the gate.
Yeah, Caroline in a little bit of a different situation. Usually our fastest qualifier, only the second fastest qualifier today. But here she is. This is what the veteran does. She builds her races. She doesn't go 1% harder than she knows she needs to do. And right there, putting down the fastest time of day. So she's building up.
Totally. And those are our starts. You can see the power. I mean, she's a former BMX racer. That is her bread and butter. But I'm surprised that Jenna is right there. I wouldn't think of her as just this powerhouse, but I know she's been training hard. She said that she got the best training that she's had in the off season. But again, Caroline is just on point, perfect backsides everywhere. Love that bike.
Yeah, that bike definitely looks good. She's shining. She's looking good out here in that bright yellow gear. This is definitely her event to shine. She would love to bring home another gold medal here from her home country.
And she making the snake turns her own. We're actually going to go down to her in the finish line, see what she has to say. All right, Caroline, it feels like you're just going from where you left off last year. Is that what it feels like to you? Do you feel like you've got that same sort of feeling on the track?
Yeah, this is definitely by far one of the best stops of the tour for dual slalom. You're on a roller coaster, you're hooked in, you're not even braking till the finish. So yeah, love the Aussie crowd, hype for today and just building that momentum into the finals.
Yeah, Caroline, this is Alan here. A question, the elements, seeing the vision coming in and out of the shade. Some of the sections of the track are getting pretty dry, some of the sections are wet. How are the conditions out there for you guys?
The conditions are really good. The course is holding up well. I've got my Maxxis high roller front and rear for that extra little bit of traction, and got my tinted lens, so that kind of helps with the transition of the light, but really looking forward to it and just can't thank Australia for enough. The hype here is unreal and I love competing on home soil.
Well, we can't wait to see what you can do. Like you said, home country race. Great luck today. We'll be watching. Here's that bracket. We got 2 maximum differentials, and then it's a little bit closer as we move down. Caroline, that time's a little bit off.
Yeah, Martha Gill and Ferguson, less than half a second in it, so that's going to be one to watch. And Caroline doing her thing, building her race, building that speed one race at a time. We talked about it a little bit in yesterday's Speed and Style. It's about when you peak. You don't want to have your fastest run before your last run of the day.
And we had our snake turns take our first victim with Baxter Maywild.
Yeah, unfortunately, Baxter just getting a little off rhythm there, and the snake bit hard right there. Tossed him all the way over, and unfortunately, suffering a bit of a wrist injury.
Yeah,
he's okay, but I think his week is done here in Cairns.
That's definitely a bummer. I know he was having a lot of fun. Got to talk to him a little bit at the whip off, but he's smiling even though he's probably in massive amount of pain. But that's okay. And we had the round of 16 after the men's qualifying. Show you a little bit of action from that. Joel Sutherland versus Bassman Steenbergen. Bass again. This track, he loves it. Said it's one of his favorite tracks. You know, now that they took out these flat turns at the end, I think he's gonna be ready.
Yeah, probably that thing that was his biggest focus is now something he doesn't even have to worry about.
Right.
And then we got the local boy, Mick Hanna and Jace Cunning, just shredding down this track.
And you were
Mick
talking
looking
about
super comfortable out here.
Wade Turner versus Jackson Frew. Jackson with one of the fastest times of the day yesterday, actually. The fastest time in the speed and style. So he's going to be wanting to show what he can do here.
Yeah, Jackson's going to be one to watch for sure. Looking at the stats, he is the man to beat. This is his race to win or lose.
Here we go. We've got the bracket. Bass Van Seebergen versus Dave McMillan.
Yes.
Glad to see him in the round of 8. Mick versus Jackson Frew. And look at all of those Aussies and Kiwis in the top 8.
Yeah, stoked to see Dave McMillan, my man, making the cut into those quarterfinals. Hopefully he can keep it going, but he's got a big task going up against the #1 qualifier and
yeah.
2-time reigning king of Crankworx, Baz Van
Going
Steenbergen.
for the first three-peat. Here we go. Reigning king versus Dave McMillan.
Yeah, Dave McMillan, one of the Flux Trail crew members, building these tracks. Also getting a medal in whip-off the other day, so he's had a busy week. It's all about track time now. Look at that big gap to manual out of David, but Baz extending his lead, coming into the shark fin.
And look at Bass just perfectly downsiding everything. Dave right there, though.
Oh man, Dave slashing that berm. And that's what we talked about. So bummed. Dave was laying it all out there. There's not 1 ounce of momentum left on the track.
We actually saw that in the round of 16. You pointed it out with that perfect 2-wheel drift right around that, so I know he was trying to make it happen again. Big cheer from the crowd, the local boy, king of style.
Yeah, we saw him come out of that final turn, and that's what we were talking about. All that momentum from the top of the hill is spooling up, and it's rocketing out of that turn. He trounced that turn so hard, but wasn't able to hold on to the flat turns. Let's see what got him there.
And you know, he talks about that manual. It's just crazy the bike skill that Dave has, that triple manual coming down. Both of these guys.
Yeah, they come into the wall ride, and both riders are pretty even there. We see 2 different options there. Watch McMillan gap from the top, and then you see Steenbergen keep it low, get that pump, and then watch David right here come out of this next turn. Watch right here. This is where he just fires out of the turn, and all of his momentum goes forward, and just not enough traction to hold it, and pushes the front end.
Oh, there was no way. There was no way. I don't even think where everyone else is braking, he's pedaling out of the turn.
Yeah, he just lost that front end, but he was committed. The feet and the hands stayed on all the way to the ground. So unfortunately, he's going to take the max differential, which is only 1.5. So it's not over yet.
It's not over. I think that's especially with those flat turns and how slick it's getting, it'll get worse and worse throughout the day. And it's not over till it's over, because that's so easy to make a mistake there. You know, let's go back to last year. We're going to look at the best time of the day. See what a really, really fast run looks like. Jackson Frew here.
Yeah, this was up against the eventual gold medal winner, Mick Hanna. But on this run, Jackson had the better of Mick Hanna and laid down the fastest lap of the day.
Pedaling all the way through. Feet up. And then just putting down the power to the end. What an incredible run. It's something when you beat Mick Hanna by a quarter of a second.
Jackson this year, hoping that Mick Hanna pulls out in front.
It's one of these same matchup. Let's see who gets the better of them on this first run. Number 4 and number 5 qualifier.
Both riders are wanting this incredibly bad. This is going to be a fast heat. Let's see who can get the gate.
Ready? Watch the gate.
Both riders coming out of the gate incredibly fast. Jackson with a slight advantage right there, getting the whole shot. We see him in the green. And Mick catching up with that momentum coming down to the shark fin. Let's see what he's got. Keeps it low, gaps off.
Jackson with a little bit of a lead. Let's see if he can hold it in these flat turns.
Oh, Jackson gets caught up, and it looks like he knows the final gate.
He knows it.
Good job, dude. Good job. My bars rolled. I caught my hand on the flag.
We hear the riders talking about the trials and tribulations. It sounds like Mick Hanna's bars moved. Jackson caught a bar. And unfortunately missed that gate, so he's going to take a 1.5 disadvantage to the next round. Again, both of these riders are extremely hungry.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought I'd missed the flag.
Oh, it looks...
It was 50-50 either way. Like, I know that you hit the one before. Yeah, that punched the hand. Can we lower them? It was our fault. Okay. All right, we're good. Good job, man.
Okay, wow.
He's back in, or I guess he was never out. Let's take a look at this replay here. See what happened.
Yeah, we're going to want to keep an eye on his tires and where they're going around the gates.
And that left hand here.
You can see it hit the gates, and that's okay. This is the one we're looking at. He slid out a little bit there.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, if the tires go around the top of even though it's bent over, it's still in. So that's one of those ones where you're just like, I thought that I was done, but luck is on my side.
Looks like they're taking some more looks at it just to make sure everything's good.
I got it. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought I'd missed the flag.
That's a roller coaster there. Come all the way to Crankworx. You know, he won in Rotorua, took a first place in Rotorua this year, first place in Rotorua last year, third place in Cairns in the dual slalom. So this is one of the events that Jackson really wants to place well in. And when you go through something like that as an athlete, it's definitely an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, we see Jackson losing some of that traction there and double tire drifting through. The cause of that is the dirt at the bottom. It's really powdery. It's almost to a moon dust type consistency mixed in with some gravel. The sun has been baking it all day long, and it's so dry. It's to the point now where if you threw water on it, it would just get slick and muddy.
Right, so hard packed. Here's qualifying. Take a look at this section, how tricky it actually is. See every kind of mistake, crash possible. Trying to use the back brake. Trying to do a little Scandi there.
Yeah, we see it going wrong.
What do you think the best way to get through a section like this is, Alan?
Man, some of the riders that I saw...
Maybe that way?
Maybe some of the riders that I saw doing the best was they were turning long before they were to the gate. That's one way to save a tenth of a second.
I feel like he thought that he could, get a little bit of extra time, maybe diving through.
Yeah, maybe. But some of the guys that I've been seeing with the best technique is they're checking up before they come out of the berm, and then they're actually they're initiating their turn about 4 to 5 feet sooner than you would on a normal turn. And that's really to compensate for the dryness. It's like flying a 747. Everything's gonna be happening in slow motion. Even though, you're your normal size, your normal speed, you gotta plan so far ahead because you're gonna initiate, and then it's gonna hesitate as your tires slide, and then it'll bring you around. So the ones that I'm seeing making this the cleanest and the smoothest are the ones that are initiating the soonest.
So I just got word that we're actually going to do a rerun with Mick Hanna and Jackson Fruit due to a course malfunction. So we're going to rerun that race. It'll be a little bit later. And we'll get to that, but let's go back up to the top. Love the fans here. I think we had a haircut competition. I've seen some kids with some insane haircuts. So.
I think Darkfest is influencing fans for sure.
Cejudo Arigibene versus Neil Binsing. Niels has actually been putting a lot of time on these mountain bikes.
Yeah, Cejudo coming over from New Zealand, his first trip out to Cairns, Australia. We see Niels getting the whole shot. Slight advantage coming out of the gate, but Cejudo laying down the power through the rhythm section. Coming into the shark fin, Cejudo cuts it close, keeps his momentum in that slight lead, but can he shut it down and stay on two wheels through these turns? And he does. Cejudo initiating that turn early and one of the cleanest runs through those final gates I've seen all day.
Yeah, Cejudo's been on fire. You know, he got that second place in Rotorua this year in dual slalom. And he kind of broke onto the scene in pump track, and he's still been on a tear, right? He got first in pump track in Rotorua, first in pump track in Queenstown this year. So this year, Cejudo on that MS Mondraker team, really starting the year off right.
Yeah, absolutely. Sitting second place right now, actually, in the current King of Crankworx standings behind the two-time defending champ. 70-point gap. It's 100 points to win one of these, so he's right there. He's in it.
And you know, Alan, you were talking about the difference between bikes. Cejudo's on that small bike. We see all kind of stuff in slalom. Why do you kind of make the choices? Cejudo's on that hardtail.
Yeah, Cejudo's on that hardtail, which is going to be a faster bike for pumping and gaining momentum. You know, on the trail bike, kind of what we see Binsing riding there, short travel trail bike. Usually you run a little bit bigger meat on the tires, and that little bit more suspension is going to give you traction. So it's a trade-off. You want that speed, you want that traction. It's going to differ on the rider's styles, you know, their preferences, and also how the course is running.
We're back up to the top. Sam Blenkinsop versus Ryan Gilchrist. Ryan qualifying second. I think he's just been riding better and better. Fellow Australian, fellow Yeti rider.
Yeah, I wonder how many tips Buchanan, his teammate, has been giving him. He doesn't need any tips getting out of the gate. We see Ryan Gilchrist with that whole shot. That's what that green bar is signifying. Really extending his lead on Blanky right here. But this is where Blanky was exceptionally fast last year in these flat turns.
Look at Ryan. Oh my goodness.
Ryan with a little bit of a slip out, but at that point he was already going across the line.
Over a second ahead.
Holy smokes.
That is the new fastest time of the day, a 20.5.3 ahead of Cejudo. I feel the same as Blinky.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, Gilchrist. Sam Blenkinsop just said, "You're going a bit fast at the top, huh?" That's a win in my book right there.
Slow down, boy. Golly.
All right. Do it again.
So right now, Gilchrist has to, he has to gather himself. He just had put down the fastest time of the day. We've talked about the build. You don't want to peak too early. You don't want to let the stoke win.
And he is, he's definitely a younger rider, and so do you think he has the experience to know that he's a second up, he can kind of take a breath and take a beat, or do you think he'll still push?
Man, I think he's a racer, and I think it's a little bit too early to start laying up, especially when your competitor is Blenkinsop. You know, anything can happen out there. I think really what he needs to do is just be as consistent as possible and really pick out those couple of sections where you can pick up a thousandth of a second. You know, you're not looking for a full second out here. These are super quick runs. If you can get a thousandth of a second a little bit faster, you need to focus on that backside, get a little bit more speed out of it. That's what's going to win this race for him.
And we're back up to the top here. What happened was the black gate wasn't quite clipped in properly, and so that handlebar hit that you saw Jackson do, we're actually going to show you a little replay of what happened. Black gate's right side. You can see it right there.
It's dangling.
That was why he hit the handlebar. If it would have been actually put down, he's been leaning over that far the whole time.
So it wasn't actually the gate that we saw him miss, it was right there.
Yeah, if the gate would have been on, he wouldn't have hit his handlebar, and then he wouldn't have had that mishap on the last gate. So gonna give him an extra run for that because of the course malfunction.
Just another bit of housekeeping for all of our spectators here. All of these courses.
Got a rerun here.
And the true beneficiaries of this situation is us. We can see Vic and Jackson go again.
So again, number 4 qualifier versus number 5. Jackson with the fastest time of the day. Yesterday, at Speed and Style, the fastest time of the whole slalom last year. See what you can do.
Both riders representing Australia wanting to win here on home soil in Cairns. Jackson with maybe half a bike length, but this is where I've seen Mick really starting to excel coming out of these turns into the shark fin. Watch the different styles. Jackson kind of skims across, stays low, and Mick gaps it, building that speed up to this final section, and these riders keeping it super tight and super clean. 0.589 is the time difference.
Jackson, you could see there, he was able to lean over and not clip his handlebar. This could be a finals matchup, and there it is, the fastest time of the day. 0.2 faster than Ryan Gilchrist. And you know, Jackson, I mean, he looks so smooth.
Fastest time again.
Yeah, he's unbelievably calculated, unbelievably like laser focused. You see where his eyes are, and that's exactly where his bike's going. At these speeds that they're going on these tracks, the berms, they almost shrink as you get closer to them because you're going so fast.
And I see them kind of riding on the back like that. You get a little bit more pump if you're kind of on the back wheel, tap manuals and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Watch Jackson Frew on the right-hand side of our screen. You see him gap and drop that back end. He didn't case, he was trying to generate momentum off the backside of that landing.
And he's actually going inside there, not hitting that first berm. And Mick Hanna is the reigning champion here, so he really wants another shoey. I know that.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
And he almost missed it. Look at his back wheel. Slides out. Oh my goodness. All right, Jackson. You know, you had that mishap the first run. It looked like you got a bit wild the second run as well. What is that bottom of the track running like right now?
It was really good, and then I think maybe Dave and then a couple other, and then me before just kind of pushed that little bit of a rut we had, and then I nearly went down again then, and I was trying to be cautious. So I think that might be the limit of these bottom turns, but, you know, Mick's a fast competitor, so I'm going to have to push everything on the other side now.
Yeah, Jackson, you're looking super good. I mean, riding incredibly, incredibly fast. On your way down, where is it that you kind of see as your key section on the track? Where do you feel like you have an advantage on the other riders?
I don't know. I don't think there's really anywhere you can gain anything. This top 8 at the moment is the fastest I think I've ever seen. So I think it's more just about trying to go as fast as you can and then hope that they make a little error or you can kind of be in front and kind of force them into something. But if it had to be anywhere, it would probably be that wall ride section and kind of gapping inside. I think that's probably where I'm making any time.
Well, Jackson, we're going to be watching. Make sure you go through the gates. Make sure you maybe a little bit extra brakes, but not too much. And good luck for
the no brakes all the way through. No brakes at all.
That's a racer right there. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
It's me.
You know, we're going to throw to this tourism piece right here. Louise Ferguson, that you're seeing on your screen, got to go rafting. One of the many things that you can do in Cairns. Let's take a look, see how she fared.
This is Mikey's leisurely morning dip. Not so extreme. But this is Mikey and friends raging down the Barron River in Cairns, Australia. 1, 2, 3.
It's been ages since I've been on a boat, and it was really cool, like floating down the river. The first section was nice and relaxing, and then we got into some white water.
Had a couple of like good, 1.5 meter drops. Definitely thought Baxter was going to end up in my lap on a few of them. I would definitely recommend it with people you trust. And if you've got some cheeky mates, it'll still be fun, but you'll be wet.
Well, I come part of, really enjoying the wilderness now.
just so pretty around here. The rainforest is like nothing else. I've never been anywhere quite like it. You can hear all the birds and the insects and stuff as you're coming down. It's really, really immersive.
And that looked amazing.
Yeah, that looked incredibly fun. Probably hard not to have fun here in Cairns, Australia. There's so much to do.
Oh, it's so true. And here's our bracket for the round of 8. Harrietberg Smith versus Connor Melk. Kind of seeing some good battles shaping up here.
Yeah, some super tight racing down there in Heat 3 and Heat 4, less than a second separating. But you look down at the bottom, number 4, Caroline, has the tightest split, so it's not over for her. It's not a shoe-in.
And, you know, Connor Melk was actually an under 19 this past year. She's no stranger to dual slalom, a 3rd in the under 19 in Whistler last year.
Yeah, coming in as the 8th place qualifier. Looks like not only has her right now, but also getting that whole shot, showing that she's also building her day out here, riding incredibly fast, keeping this section smooth based on last year's little situation there. She is riding perfectly smooth in this, showing the experience, shutting it down, not taking unnecessary risk, looking ahead.
Yeah, she's a veteran racer. And you know, I love that Crankworx kind of pushes people to do more of everything. Coming from that BMX background, now you see her in speed and style, you see her at all of these events doing everything, able to ride that mountain bike like she's been riding it all her life.
Yeah, just pushing everything that she enters, the racing, the free ride, the freestyle, even riding the slope style course here earlier this week.
Jenna Hastings. We think of a downhill specialist, but she has also been able to ride these small bikes.
Yeah, Jenna talking about how her training program has broadened. You know, she's not just focused on downhill, she's also focused on these Crankworx events. And it's showing right here. Keeping Sasha super honest.
Super close matchup, 4th, 5 qualifier.
And Sasha Mills pushes the front end a little bit.
So close. Let's see if we can see advantage.
Just a tad.
Jenna, again with that experience, probably not pushing too hard. She knows she had that advantage with Schlosser's mistake in that first run. Here's the current standings for Queen of Crankworx. Jenna in that 2nd position, only 64 points behind. You get 100 points for a win here, so it's all to play for. Any mistake, we've seen how easy that can happen in those bottom turns.
Yeah, Jenna finding herself on the podium last night in the speed and style. So keeping momentum going, finding her way through the rounds. But right now it's Louise Ferguson and Martha Gill.
Another dual slalom specialist, Martha Gill, taking that 1st place last year in Rotorua on the dual slalom. Really good start.
Yeah, Martha showing some experience there, jumping and pedaling the manual. Pedal manual is going to give you momentum ×2. She's getting the pump and the pedal in at the same time through that jump, and it's paying off. She's going to shoot out of the snake with quite a lead on Louise.
Taking the win here. I saw that. You know, as you kind of happens like that.
Yeah, we hear Martha kind of talking about her experience up there on the shark fin. She had a lot of momentum and ended up getting off rhythm a little bit. We might see that down here in the replay, but watch this right here. She's pedaling through the roller.
And I think it's like that. You know, by the time you're in the 2nd round of the round of 8, you are going much faster than you have all week. So she was probably keeping it low on that wall ride, like you were saying here, and now she almost made it all the way over.
Yeah, I think this is the part she was commenting on right there. She entered a little bit off rhythm and then gets to the top there and kind of bounces to the bottom. That's very similar to what we saw happen to Haz in that gold medal matchup last year that ended up costing her the win.
Yeah, you mentioned it in the pre-show. That is one of the sections we're going to have to look out for.
Able to keep those tires down on the ground in that little lunge. Those are those thousandths they're looking for.
We're going to, Louise It looks like you're having so much fun here in Cairns. We saw you go and raft. What was that like?
Yeah, it was a really cool experience, you know, getting into the wilderness in Cairns in Australia. Something I've not really done a lot of, so yeah, I had a lot of fun on track and then also on the river.
And so, beside whitewater rafting, have you gotten to do anything else here in Cairns?
Yeah, I went over to the Great Barrier Reef, and honestly, if you haven't been, then you need to check it out. It was like just insane, so yeah.
I feel like the tracks here are fun, the whitewater rafting, Great Barrier Reef. I'm gonna let you get back to it, and we're gonna go and watch some more racing.
Thanks, have a great day. See you.
Make sure to join the chat, give us some questions, get involved. Great place to be with your fellow mountain bikers in there.
Yeah, we see you out here. The old potato is on point. The ladies are absolutely killing it. We got couch potatoes, bike potatoes, but right now we got Caroline Buchanan in the gate.
Number 2 versus number 7, Casey. A great finish there. Caroline picking up a quarter of a second right out of the gate. That BMX background.
It's the little things that Caroline is so perfect on. And, you know, when she's catching those backsides, it's really just a fraction, like a millimeter difference. And it all adds up down here at the bottom. And she's pushing a little bit of front wheel push there, but she stayed in it as Cassie pushes across the line. I think she stayed in there.
Caroline with the fastest time of the day. Only woman under the 23-second mark so far. Caroline really thinking about this queen title. Wants to hold that lead that she's gotten so far.
Yeah, really an unbelievable story, you know, just transforming her entire program to go from a competitive world champion caliber BMX racer to now the defending queen of Crankworx. But look at where she lands on those backsides. She's barely moving because she's landing in the perfect spot each time she comes down. She's using less energy, which is going to give her more of a push for that bottom section where I think it's going to be make or break for these races.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's one of those things when you're on the side of the track, you can't even hear the tires hit the ground because it's so smooth. And you mentioned her transforming. It's amazing to see her doing the backflips now. I mean, she's bringing out all the tricks, and she's still so fast.
Yeah, such a competitor. Finds a way to stay hungry and continue to push herself in even completely different categories of racing.
And we caught up with Jackson Frew, see what kind of tires he's running. Let's check out Max's bike check here with him. See how he's doing.
Hi, I'm Jackson Frew. We're here in Cairns for Crankworx. This is my Max's bike check. Tyre choice for dual slalom can be pretty tricky because you've got to obviously have maximum grip. We've got some flat turns and we've got some pretty high speed bits, but it's also about rollings. On the front, I'm running a DHF, and on the back, I'm running a DHR2, pretty simple. I've got tubes in both. I'm pretty lucky. I'm running some really stiff carbon wheels, so I keep the tubes in to keep those tires nice and stiff. I should note they're DH casing front and rear as well. Probably be hovering around the 28 to kind of 32 PSI in the front, and then probably a little higher, maybe 29 to 33 or 34 in the back. I find this combo gives me good rolling, but also gives me heaps of grip. And that's my Max's bike check for Crankworx Dual Slalom here in Cairns.
I mean, it's amazing to see how versatile the Max's tires are. That's the setup that I ran my whole World Cup career, is a DHF, DHR. So love to see it. Back up at the top here, Dave McMillan versus Bass Van Steenbergen, Big Bass.
Yeah, we see David McMillan with that 1.50. Remember, we saw him push the front end coming into those last gates.
What does Dave have to do to pull back 1.5 seconds?
He just needs to stay right there. He needs to pressure Baz into a mistake because Baz isn't going to let him beat him by his own.
The King doesn't make too many mistakes, I tell you what.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, David.
Oh, David doing David things.
You love to see it. Waiting for a big shroud. Oh, no way. That's, I mean, it shows you how much concentration you have to have. I mean, he was just trying to cruise through. And
Yeah, he completely shut it down. He was conceding to Baz there. He knew he wasn't going to make up that 1.5, but still, the snake came up and bit him.
He's probably like, why did I build these flat turns? I could have just made some berms at the bottom. see what he's doing. Yeah, just straight legging it, no worries.
Yeah, watch David here. He just cruises around, loses that front end traction again. This time he was actually able to get unclipped. He saw it coming this time.
Well, it's actually crazy too because he was just right outside the line. You had kind of talked about that as more riders go through, you push a little bit of that dirt out of the way.
Yeah, the line is changing every time. So you might come down in one run and everything's looking good. You kind of know and can expect where that rut's going to be. But then a situation like where David pushed that front end, that rut is now gone. It's completely missing. So these riders might be aiming for something that's not there. And really it's going to be the experience and their bike handling capability that's going to get them to the finish.
You know, last year, Mick Hanna won, and he did a bit of this.
Yeah, this was an amazing moment. Mick in front of the hometown crowd on the very hallowed soil.
Sure, I want to have a taste.
The last year, the shoey, I did a shoey, and that's the only shoey I've ever done. So it was quite a special. It was a special time. I thought, now's my chance.
I think he's been waiting his whole life. That's actually the pinnacle of his professional career, the ability to do a shoey in front of his hometown.
It might have been his first one, but he's definitely taking it seriously. He waited for a good moment.
Right.
Well, right now he's fighting for his life with a .58 disadvantage on Jackson Frew, who comes out with an amazing gait. But Mick Hanna gets the whole shot by just .1.
Mick is going
giving it everything he's got right here.
As fast as he possibly can.
Come on, Mick.
Pedaling everywhere.
It's coming down to these flat turns, and Mick gets across the line first flat. Is it enough?
It's not going to be enough. He knows it. He knows it. Jackson going through by just over .2.
Good job, David. That's the best race ever.
I want to see a time on that run where it matches up with the rest. Mick going long on everything. Just unbelievably fast.
That was everything in the kitchen sink plus
Into the next round, children.
Sounds like Jackson had a run. One of those perfect runs where he came through and he just felt it. Both of them pedaling, pumping. Watch Mick off of this swatch log here.
Yeah, pushing down for everything he's got, still launches all the way into the berm. You heard Jackson Frew say when they got to the corral, I had to give it everything I had just to get across the line in front of you. There's those different styles. Jackson staying lower and pumping. Mick actually has a slight advantage right here.
And Mick giving it everything he's got. The bike at the edge, tires at the edge of traction. Jackson, it looks like just in that last flag, Jackson made up a little bit of extra time. Let's see what Mick has to say about it. Mick Hanna, we were hoping maybe for another shoey. Tell me about how slalom went today. What was that run like? It was an insanely fast run, probably the fastest run we've seen all day.
Yeah, I was hoping for a shoey as well, as always. Last year, Jackson and I came together in the semi-final, and we put the fastest laps down last year as well. So it's fitting to have that happen again, and I'm wishing Jackson all the best. He's been riding well this year, and it's going to be fun to watch.
You know, and your week's not over. You have downhill. You haven't taken a downhill win here in Cairns. What is it like being here in front of a hometown crowd?
Yeah, it's just amazing. We've got a lot of family in town, and it's Mum's 60th birthday this weekend, so we're celebrating that, and I plan to celebrate with a downhill win.
We're looking forward to it. Happy birthday, Mrs. Hanna, and great luck the rest of the week.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remember last year walking back up to the top of the whip and rolling with Mick, and he was saying, oh, this is the trail I was on for my very first mountain bike race ever.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Starting and now working for the win. Back up at the top. Niels Bingsink needs to make up a quarter of a second on Tohoto. Right out of the gate, Tohoto with a really good jump.
Yeah, Tohoto coming out solid. Niels got a little bit of time to make up. He's keeping Tohoto honest, but geez, look at the speed as they come into the shark fin.
And we know anything can happen. This is where the races have been decided. Tohoto, that veteran, knows that he had it. Almost a second up. 1.2 for the MS Mondraker rider. Niels Binsink on that Radon SR Sun Tour ride. Really nice to see how much Niels has progressed. I think everyone would normally be looking out for him tomorrow in pump track. Both of these guys definitely are going to be contenders. Wouldn't be surprised if that's your gold medal match right there.
That's one of the things that the Crankworx, format can do. It can take a specialist, somebody like we see right here, Sam Blankensop. It can take somebody that's a specialist and show them, there's more to it. There's more to it than that,
And Ryan Gilchrist is one of those guys where, like, Crankworx is one of the things that has launched him into stardom, showing all of these big guys what he's made of. Sam making a bit of a mistake there.
Yeah, Blanky getting just a little bit out of rhythm. Gilchrist taking advantage of it, pulling ahead. He knows he's got the advantage, so he just needs to keep Sam just in the corner of his eye, play it smooth here, which he does. Blanky goes for broke.
Not bad.
Absolutely what he had
close.
to do.
I saw you in my peripherals. I'm like, oh, dude. Are we on the happy lane? That was good, bro. Thanks. Bro.
He knew. I mean, you saw
How's the adrenaline, mate? I couldn't see the landing. Bro, on the little step-up thing, I was just blind. That's my case then. I was just right to the front. Total muscle memory, just hoping for the best.
We talked about that, the vision at the front of the show. Maybe Blinky had the wrong goggles.
Yeah,
should have gone with a light tint like you.
Yeah, you see him coming out of the sun there, back into the shadows. He was saying he was having a little bit of vision problems, but I think that may have just been enough to get him out of his rhythm.
And I mean, even with that, we saw how fast Ryan was in that first heat. So Blinky having a better run there. I think he made up most of it just pushing around those last flags.
Yeah, we heard Gilchrist. He saw him coming in his peripherals. His heart rate certainly spiked. You see Blanky coming around the corner. You better get on the move.
Ryan Gilchrist, you have been on fire. Tell me about that first run. It felt like that was that the run of your life or what?
Oh, look, it's a sick track that the people have put out here, like Cairns. It's my first time ever in Cairns, and they've built an absolutely sensational track. So I feel as though I'm really vibing with the track, and when I'm vibing with the track and I'm having fun, I'm going fast. So yeah, it felt pretty good.
Ryan, talk to me how much the other competitor is affecting your effort out there. I mean, I heard you down at the bottom say you saw Blanky coming in your peripheral. How much is that affecting you? Is that changing your vision on the track on the way down?
Wow, it's noisy here. Yeah, I raced BMX back in the day, so my peripheral vision's pretty good, but at the end of the day, it's just 2 time trials as fast as I can. I'm the only person on the track.
Well, how are you feeling about the crowd? You mentioned the noise. You're an Aussie. You're in Australia, in Cairns. How do you feel?
How about the crowd? Yeah! That's what we love to see. It's what we love to see, and I'm stoked to be here. Let's go Australia all the way.
Soaking in the crowd here at Crankworx. Nice job, Ryan. We'll see you in the round of 4.
Gilchrist doing all the right things. Winning his heats, getting the crowd on his side. Sometimes that's all it takes.
Oh, for sure. Well, here we go. This is your round of 4 again. It feels like we've had finals with all of these people, right? We've had a Bass Jackson final. We've had a Tohoto final. So your top 4 qualifiers are your round of 4. It's going to be great racing from here on out.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a testament to how deep the talent field is here. As you said, every one of these matchups in the round of 8 on could be a final. Just keeping us on the edge of our seats. Most races being determined by less than a second. So things happen fast out here, and we're a long way from done.
And we are not a long way from some of the most amazing sites you will ever see. Like I said, 2 UNESCO World Heritage sites, the oldest rainforest in the entire world. It's paradise.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been about 20 years since I've been out to the Great Barrier Reef. I think I might have to get back out there before I leave the country this time. Did I say 20 years?
Oh, man.
How old am I?
Older than me. But we've had an amazing crowd here the entire week. This was yesterday. There's some of those haircuts. There's Mike Ross just loving it. Look at those sunglasses. Everything is just ideal here in Crankworx Cairns. Harriet took the win in the speed style yesterday, and I think she's just going to try to keep doing that, keep taking more and more wins. So let's see how she can do today, going up against Jenna Hastings.
Yeah, as you said, Harriet taking that win yesterday and our fastest qualifier out here today.
Really
yesterday was her
snap.
birthday. She's going to want to cap that birthday off with another gold medal, I'm sure. But it is not going to come free.
Both of them pushing.
Jenna gapping all the way up onto that wall ride and down. She's
Dead
pulling
even.
up a little bit closer. Here we go down these flat turns.
Oh.
Knocking me down all the way down there.
That
was like triple bang, mix but bang, mix but bang, and then over the I
it never fails actually when you get
I'm
done.
like still puzzling what to do through there. I'm like, what the hell?
Anytime you're head-to-head racing, you always go straight to your competitor and you talk about what went wrong. Let's see if we can check out what Jenna was talking to, saying that she got a little bit over the back.
Yeah, it sounded like she was saying she got a little off rhythm. I didn't see really where it was.
Right.
Oh, yeah, right there, just kind of missing
there
it.
There it is, yeah. And you can see how it can spiral a bit. Cascades at first case and then little off rhythm in the moguls.
Yeah, just like the good things can build and they compound, so do the bad things. You get a little bit late on a turn, you're twice as late on the next turn. And to be able to bring that back and correct once you've made that mistake is unbelievably hard at these speeds and the level these riders are riding.
Yeah, I've always thought about, slalom especially, you're thinking, 2, 3, 4 obstacles ahead because what you're doing now sets you up for what you're going to do later. Looks like we got a little bit of a review going on.
Yeah, watch Harriet's front tire on the very last gate right here. Oh, it looks like she got around it. It was her pedal that maybe hit it. Under review. I am not the final word. We'll wait and see what they say.
A couple other party shirters over there. And, the rules, as long as both tires go around, handlebars are fine, pedals fine. You just need those tires to be on the correct side of the gate.
Yeah, it's the contact patch, really, of the tire, because sometimes they're leaned over so far
it's the bottom
that their
of the
front
tire.
tires will hit the gate, but if the contact patch of the tire goes around the gate, we're racing.
Alan, I want you to break down the wall ride a little bit for me. We talked about it in the pre-show, but now that we've seen some riders, what have you seen so far?
Yeah, some of the fastest riders I've seen come through there, they're actually gapping off of the lip and skipping the entire wall ride. Let's see what we got here. So that's on the wall, and watch David gap all the way down right there. So he's going to be in the air a little bit longer, but he's going to come down with more force and more momentum and generate that speed. And we see Caroline here just staying on the lowest part and getting a pump off of both downsides.
Oh, that is fast.
And then we have Gilchrist right there, gapping all the way over to the backside. I think that is the fastest way through, gapping off of the lip, catching both backsides, pushing down as hard as you can and generating momentum all the way in and out of the snake.
And Alan, we also, when we walked the track earlier today, we sat and watched the moguls a little bit. Break these down for me.
Yeah, the moguls. I haven't seen these on a track since Hell Track in 1986. But there's rolling, there's gapping, two rolling. There's a lot of different options. Let's see what we can get right here. Gilchrist on the right, a triple manual. Unbelievably fast.
He's so good. He's so good. Get close up here. Both of them skipped that first one.
Yeah, there it is again, Gilchrist. He skips the first one and triple manuals through. Gets his tires on the ground the soonest and directly straight off of the mini catapult log.
And we're still under review for the race between Harriet and Jenna. Wait for a call on that one. Get the racing back underway.
Yeah, we've got line judges all the way up and down the course, making sure that everyone's playing fair.
Yeah, I think it feels good as a rider to know that you have people coming down the track, making sure there's no foul play going around. It's nice. So, Alan, What do you think about the party shirt?
Well, you know, it's a party time. Head-to-head racing is always a party, so we had to dress for it.
Well, I feel like, you know, I was talking to Darren, the GM of Crankworx, and he said if Whistler is the heart and Rotorua is the soul, Cairns is the party. Do you agree?
I think I would give it that.
Yeah?
Gilligan's is not far from here. I've heard that's where the party's at.
Yeah, I remember back in World Championships, we were talking about how every pedal stroke got you closer to Gilligan's.
All the things that motivate us as professional athletes.
We got the official merchandise. Everything's looking really nice. That bucket hat is calling my name. All the sponsors out here have been really great. Trail Forks and, you know, Rock Shocks. Got a couple of features coming up with those.
Yeah, I think we were lucky to get these party shirts, to be honest. When we mentioned it, first thing they said is, yeah, if we have any left.
Right.
I think they are a sold-out item.
Let's go back to yesterday here at Harrietberg Smith. I love the difference here. She's in the T-shirt doing backflips. We talked about how all these racers, these two former BMX racers, are now doing these amazing tricks, backflips, tuck no-handers to toboggans.
And they're only getting started. We heard Harriet talking about possible flip combinations. She's building, she's pushing and progressing the female freeride sport every step of the way.
Lil Rojo, Garrett Meacham. Harriet, before everyone even gets started, is in the shoes. Here's Jenna Hastings with the bronze medal. Another kind of who you would think of as a racer, has been getting into the tricks. Check out her vlog. Big vlogger. And she's loving it.
Yeah, we were chatting to her a little bit in the crowd. She was talking about getting in the airbag, getting in the mulch pit, maybe pushing her progression on the trick side of things a bit more as well.
I think the other thing, Harriet and Robin Gooms actually rode the slopestyle course here, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. I cannot wait.
I mean, I feel like it was only a couple years ago when we were in Rotorua and a couple of downhill guys were like, are you going to ride it? No. Are you going to ride it? So, I mean, I've never been on a slopestyle course. I tell you what. See Mick Hanna with the family there. We're going to take a look back, see what actually went down here on this run. See if we can review it.
I'm not sure which section we're looking at under review. Let's keep an eye close.
Something to do with the time, so take a close look if you're at home. See what's going on.
Yeah, both riders right there going a little bit long out of the snake.
Yep.
That's kind of what allowed Jenna to get side by side there.
There might have been something that we didn't see. It looked like a pretty good run to me. But again, that's why we have officials. That's why we have people all the way up and down the track. Got the best timing crew in the world here. So make sure everything is all good for these world-class athletes. Oh, you know, I thought for sure that was Mikey Hatter.
They'd be a little shorter, the pants, though,
Right.
I think.
Yeah. I guess we saw that in the feature. We actually have a video of Harriet riding the slopestyle course.
Oh, do we?
Yeah. Let's go to that. And we actually walked it on the way down, so Alan, talk me down through what it's like to do something like this.
Yeah, you know, Cam and I were actually able to squeeze our ways. We actually had to sneak onto the track in Rotorua. So they don't just let anybody ride these things.
No.
And Harriet just, you know, killing it, showing that that's where she belongs. It's where she wants to go. So smooth. What you can't tell is these lips are like 12 feet tall.
Oh,
the landings are like 30 feet tall. The landings are bigger than a house. And they're riding not only dirt, you know, they're jumping on ramps, they're riding stuff they haven't ridden before, but look.
Look at that Steez, little opposite whip there. So good. I mean, all of these women I feel like are so multidisciplinary, so talented, just came from Darkfest doing some of the biggest jumps in the world. Those 90-footers. You got slopestyle on Saturday, so you're going to be seeing the best riders in the world doing that same course. So tune in. We got Rob Warner, Alan Cook on that one with you.
Yeah, I'm excited to be calling the slopestyle here in Cairns with Rob. It's going to be a good one. Cam, I love you. I miss you. Rob, you're doing a good job.
Well, I mean, we have a couple of changes from last year. Did you take a look? What are the riders saying about the course so far?
Yeah, you know, last year was a first-year event, and the monsoon season came through and really took its toll on this track. And talking to the course builders, it really gave them an opportunity to rebuild a lot of the things that they were kind of seeing as, you know, maybe negative points. So this is just a more refined, better built track.
And I mean, we're seeing there's 2 quarter pipe sections. I don't think I've ever gotten my wheels over the coping, but how is that kind of stuff judged? I mean, you've done all of these events back in the day.
It was way back in the day. Yeah, but I mean, that really just opens it up for different riders. You know, I think someone like Nikolai Ragakin, who actually took the win here last year in that slopestyle competition, I think he's going to smile when he sees some big ramps, some big quarter pipes, because he comes from that freestyle background. And riders that are kind of more used to riding the quarter pipes, landing on the dirt, you know, it reacts differently. You spin off it differently.
And here we go. Harrietberg Smith with the advantage in run 1.1. She's been waiting for that one.
If you can call that an advantage.
Right.
1.16. Not much can get done in that amount of time.
Catch all the action for all the stops on Red Bull TV. We're only not even halfway done with the Crankworx World Tour this year. And it is already heating up for the King and Queen titles.
After that official review from our timing and scoring, we are back to racing.
Here we go.
action here. One more
Here we
run.
go. 0.1 of a second. And you can see how once you get into the round of 4, those qualifying results, everyone's almost even. So even though you have the first qualifier against the 4th, it's down to tenths of seconds and hundreds of seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. These races are so rapid, there is no chance to make up any time, so these riders got to be pinpoint perfect in order to take the win.
Here we go, Caroline Buchanan versus Martha Gill.
Number 2 and number 3 qualifiers is going to be tight, but we've seen Caroline in this position before. She does not let her full speed out until she needs to, and that's exactly what she's doing right now, putting it to Martha Gill.
And Martha with a bigger bike, so she's going to have an advantage on these flat turns.
Yeah, bigger bike, has a little more suspension. That means it's going to be a little softer, a little more traction.
Oh, bringing it back.
She brings it back, but not quite enough.
And there we go, the second round of the round of 4. Everything is getting closer. Any sort of little mistake in this matchup, Bas Van Steenberg and Jackson Fruit, these riders practicing for this, training for this. Let's see who takes round 1.
Let's see who gets the whole shot, because that's going to matter so much coming down to the finish.
Almost dead even.
Snapping out incredibly fast, pushing all the way through the moguls. Jackson with a slight advantage, but Baz is not going to let him out of his sights.
And here we go. They're almost even. Oh, and Baz over jumps that shark fin. He's going to be pushing in these flat turns. Oh.
Yeah, Baz slightly over jumping coming out of that shark fin. And instead of getting a pump, he gets what we call an anti-pump, over clearing the obstacle that he's wanting to get back.
Look at the left side of your screen. So just getting bucked a little bit off the lip and just over jumping it just slightly, maybe by 6 inches, and missing everything. You can see Jackson just pulling away going into the snake berms.
Yeah, Baz was just hovering over that landing, trying to get to the ground as best as he could. It looks like Jackson's got these bottom turns figured out.
Oh, Jackson
gets a little
on
bit
that
of a slide
last. Oh. Jackson is just playing with fire. Okay, let's see. Let's see what happens. They're both checking it out. So watch the. Let's see if we can spot this. Watch Jackson's back tire on this black gate, the last one. Here we go. Slides out. Oh, it seems good to me.
He puts his foot down. He sees it coming. This angle is
Look
where
at
we're
this.
going to look. His tire needs to be on the left. Both tires need to be on the left side of this
He pushes it over, which is fine.
Right there.
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's tough to tell. We're going to leave it up to the smart people
Yeah,
I think, on this one.
I'm glad I'm not an official here.
Looking at the live chat coming in, I see Bloy, long live Chainsaw. I wholeheartedly agree, my friend.
Man, the iconic picture of him wheeling across the finish line here is just amazing. So this is one more look at this. It looked like he pushes it down. It looks like he's on the wrong side, but then when it pops back up, it looks like it's on the right side. So
his front tire's in.
And then back tire looks like it's out, but watch this. Pops back up. And it seems all good. I don't know. Let's see this angle. Just like the second half of it.
Yeah, this might be a little bit better angle if we can see. Keep an eye on that contact patch. Where is the contact patch?
Oh, his pedal. Oh, I don't know.
I'm glad it's not up to me.
Yeah, I'm still just as uncertain as I was before. Make sure you join the chat. Tell us what you think. If you were an official, let us know. What would you do?
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to call this one. It's so close.
It's one of those ones where the more you look at it, the more you're like,
did he stay in or did he stay out?
Oh, yeah,
yes.
right. Yeah, right. Now I feel like I know the pain of every referee ever in all sports.
I'm seeing a lot of different things come in. We see that he was on top of it. We see people saying he was out, people saying he was in. So even the crew watching us on the live feed, they cannot call it.
Viewer's choice if he's in or out. His Crankworx dual slalom life is on the line here. But so if he's out, he gets a 1.5 differential, which means that he can still take it if it's a DQ. Okay, we just got word he's out. Jackson's run here is done. I think that's one of the things. You play with fire, and sometimes you get away with it. Sometimes you don't.
You can see the frustration and determination in his face.
Oh, for
this
sure.
next run is going to be a heater.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of heaters, who do we got up top?
Oh my goodness, Tehodo versus Ryan Gilchrist. Both of these guys perfect on the bike.
Yeah, solid start for both riders. A little bit different bike choice. We see Tehodo on the more pump track DJ style bike. Gilchrist on the short travel trail rig. Let's see how it's going to pay off. They got literally side by side over.
Gilchrist in that middle section, just amazing.
Oh man, Gilchrist just too clean through the flat corners at the bottom.
Ryan Gilchrist, and it's that side. On the left-hand side, actually, his amazing run was on the red course against Blinky, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's really honing in on what he needs to do.
Yeah,
the way he's moving his bike through those turns, it's such subtle movements. And what I'm noticing is he's just that fraction of a second ahead of the turn and where he needs to be. Watch his tires. He initiates the turn, and he's not even out of that turn right there, and he's already looking where he needs to go and initiating the next one.
And watch Tehodo on the right side, his back wheel here. We got another review.
Full drift. And that's it.
Oh, he's in.
Yeah, that's it.
He's in. All good.
The pedal was over, but that counts. He's in.
He's all good. He looks back. Did I go in? Yeah, so he's fine. I'm calling it already.
First straightaway, it's the same. Yeah, you're just going.
Yeah, listening to the riders here.
Safe, buddy. That was just your football over there.
Yeah. Jimmy making the call there. He says you're all good.
I did something horrible into that final snake corner.
Oh, I thought that was like a... He's safe, lives to fight another day. Back up to the top. Harrietberg Smith versus Jenna Hastings.
Yeah, Jenna within reach here with a .116. We remember we were under review for a long time on that one, and when it came out, it was unbelievably close. So there's nothing in it for these girls.
Almost dead even off the start.
has riding with so much intensity, really pushing the limits of what speed is capable on this track.
And
Keeping it clean.
Little mistake there from Jenna, but it's going to come down to these final turns. Oh,
we got to shut down. Possibly just a little bit of a miscommunication. That gate was not reset from when Toto went through.
And that's one of those ones that's devastating if you're Has, and you've never been more relieved if you're Jenna.
Yeah, this is where experience is going to pay off. You know, you can look at this as a positive or you can look at this as a negative, and it's really which you want to feed the good wolf or the bad wolf. You now have more practice than your competitors.
Well, I think, too, your emotions play a big part of it, right? Like, if you're Harriet, how do you, Alan, reset and not be too frustrated?
Yeah, it's tough for sure. You know, it's been a long day. The sun has finally gone down now, but it's been hot all day. These riders are tired. So really, it's going to take a really strong mental fortitude for her to regroup. I think she's just got to wipe it clean and pretend like it didn't happen. This next run is not a rerun. We're just starting all over.
Yeah. Because it can't get into your head. You can't think of it as, oh, I should have won, because you still have racing to do.
Yeah, you can't dwell on anything, even from corner to corner in the same race.
Right.
You know? You just got to
One
keep looking
mistake
forward.
doesn't mean that you're out of it. And these turns have been, there's been so much drama. You talked about it earlier today, how dusty it is. That stuff is like, it's like moon dust. So here is that rerun. Oh, sorry, talking about the Has and Jenna event. This is not a rerun. Caroline Buchanan versus Martha Gill.
Yeah, this is a super tight matchup, but Caroline fighting for her repeat she's trying to do here, straight out of the gate with a hole shot. Martha keeping her honest through the moguls.
And Caroline getting that double, and Martha making up time here. Got the wheel.
Yeah, watch Caroline through these last turns. She's going to have to be pinpoint perfect to get this win.
Martha's been perfect at the end. Let's see what happens. Oh, I think Martha might have taken it by 0.3. Martha going in to the final, knocking the reigning gold medalist here out in the semifinal. That is the fastest time of the day. Martha Gill on fire.
Yeah, it's interesting maybe seeing kind of the bike choice for today's event playing in at the bottom. Martha was able to keep the gas on through those flat turns coming out of the snake. And you saw with that, you know, the pump track DJ style bike, they're running tires with a lot more PSI. The bike's gonna bounce around and chatter a lot more. But Martha on that short travel trail bike, she was able to keep the traction down, and really those last final turns, we've said it all day long, it's make or break, and she had a make right there.
It's so true. I mean, she knows that she is if she's in touch at the top of the track, she's just been nailing those bottom turns better than anyone. And I think that's the key. Again, we got Jackson Frew, who had that